Thank you for the introduction, and thank you, Rob and Karen. I was just writing a few notes there earlier on. I feel like I've been on a kind of a seesaw. The morning was all, as far as I can tell, fear. Robots are coming to take your job. GDPR, you'll get sued. Information security is there to steal all your customers' data. If you don't do all of this, you're going to get fired. If you buy that software, you can sack half of your bookkeeping department. And by the way, AI and machine learning are here, and it's Skynet all over again. So, and by the way, we're going to bamboozle you with lots of technology, machine learning, AI, blockchain. Hands up anybody here who has ever bought, owned, or mined a Bitcoin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people. Bitcoin to first order, and most of blockchain is largely irrelevant at this point in time. So the mornings seem to be filled with this kind of technologists bamboozle you with this future technology that may or may not be relevant to you and scare the living daylights out of you. I'm so thrilled that the afternoon is a different, or this after the break, we had such much more positive words, competitive edge, adding value, the future is bright. Thank God, I was so depressed after this morning. So thank you. There's benefit to all of this technology. So I feel like, at least from my perspective, repetition does not spoil the prayer. The opportunities for digital and digital marketing in your business are enormous. And not just about how you approve purchase orders, about how you close the month-end books. The opportunities are enormous for you to grow and develop your businesses. And that's the prayer, and that's the message I think that we've been giving you this afternoon. And digital transformation, digital marketing, and digital change are going to be critical to the success of your business. And that's the key message, and that's what we want. And we understand that. And all the research in my straw poll, thank you for those of you who humored me, kind of at the break, is you are apprehensive about this. Because you've been fed a story of the horror of GDPR. Oh my God, we're all going to die. You've been through the horror of the Y2K, for those of us who remember that. We were all going to die after that too. And you're apprehensive about privacy. You're apprehensive about your own personal digital skills. I asked, I think, about half a dozen people, and I think that 2 people told me they were Luddites. I said, but you're on WhatsApp. You can't be. So we know that you are apprehensive about this personally. And we know you're worried about reputational risk of being online. But my job here today is to convince you that there is business opportunity there, and that there are also really simple things you can do today or tomorrow. Don't require a big, long robotics lecture to take advantage of those things. And those are the opportunities that we're here today. So, who are we, first and foremost? Why am I allowed to say those things? So there's 3 of us here. I'm represented myself, from a technology perspective. I'm not an accountant. I'm a software engineer by training. I was giving Michael a hard time. I told him, looking at the salaries of software engineers in Dublin, he shouldn't have changed. We have Eamon O'Rahillick, who's the MD of one of Ireland's leading digital advertising agencies. And he also lectures with me in Trinity College in Dublin. And you have Laurent Musilek, who is the head of the MSc in Digital Marketing. He's also the chair of the Digital Innovation at Trinity Business School as well. So to first order, we're giving you a little bit of an external perspective from both the digital and digital marketing, and largely from a technologist perspective, outside of the practice as well. So Where should you be using digital? Corporate strategy. First and foremost, your role is, if you're in business, is to assess the financial impact, the financial integrity of digital change in your businesses. I always give my CFO a hard time. I always ask him if there's a depreciation schedule for Facebook likes. Because there's a depreciation schedule for almost everything else that I buy in technology. But I buy Facebook likes. But there's no concept within the accounting discipline and the business value. And your role is to be able to use these digital concepts and evaluate them within the context of your role, protecting the financial integrity of companies. So corporate strategies is where it needs to be present. Practice development. I asked a number of people who are in practice today, how are you using technology? Well, we're thinking about using Sage or Xero or one of the other accounting packages to improve how you do year-end books or payroll, etc. Has it changed how you actually manage your business or your practice? No. So you've changed the way the people who work for you work, but you haven't fundamentally changed how the practice itself works, either by connecting with new customers, developing new products and services for your existing customers, or improving your retention rates or engagement with your existing customers. That's where digital is valuable for you. Business advice to clients. Again, in my introduction, I hope you don't mind, I was told that spectrum of clients, some who are digitally native, all over digital marketing, not a problem, use it to develop your business. On the other end, not interested. Absolutely not interested. What was the expression? It was the lever arch folders on the wall. You know, that's the expressions. Some of the clients are in that realm. And helping them, and your role is to help those clients that you've got move from those big things of lever arch on the wall onwards. So those are the places that we see you needing to have digital marketing, digital transformation kind of in your role. You don't have to believe me either. So this is taken from Neil Hughes at Baker Tilly. His perspective is, why should you be doing this? One, your customers are online. Average media consumption for an adult in North America is almost 6 hours per day now. 6 hours per day. Customer expectations have changed. To first order, most adults in Ireland and in the UK, if the company does not have a website, they will refuse to believe that it's a real company. That's not me, it's not you, it's just the customers are telling you that. Seasonal trends drive sales, not just in e-commerce, but in services businesses. You know this. You're busy at year end, but the purchase and the procurement of these services also occur in seasonal timeframes. A good reputation can be made online. A bad one can too, but the transformational nature of digital means that you can achieve the same good reputation online as you do when you have the financial intimacy and the trusted advisor with either your team in the corporate world or with your clients in your practice. And your customers are mobile. This is my favorite one. So recent research from Google says that you as a population will be within 2 meters of your mobile phone 98% of your life. You have a stronger personal relationship with your smartphone than anything else. Your wife, your husband, your spouse, your cat, your dog. It's a stronger personal relationship than any other object in the history of man. The sword, the hammer, the pen, the calculator. The strongest personal connection. So again, I love doing this. We do this with the students as well. So hands up. Who has been more than 2 meters from their phone in the last 24 hours. Normal use cases are it's charging overnight in a different room. Put down your hand. Doesn't count. You're asleep. Okay. Normal use case, I went to the gym and I put it in the locker while I was there. You went to the gym yesterday. You'd be proud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did you were all sitting together. Did you all put your phone away all together? Stronger, more personal relationship with your smartphone than anything else. Your clients have that too. Your business partners have that too. You have that too. If you're not taking advantage of that as part and parcel of how you think about your business, we have 7 people here who are not interested in how you work. So, hope we've given you a little bit of a flavor, a little bit more context as I try to get it out of robotics and AI and all that sort of stuff. And we'll get into some of kind of the brass tacks of stuff you can do kind of today. Not tomorrow, not the next week. So, digital audits. I know you guys, audits, so we put that word in, audits. We've talked to a lot of customers and a lot of clients, and we've asked them how they're dealing with digital and digital change in their strategies. They come up with one of 3 answers. 1, we're using it to drive cost and efficiencies. That's great. You're very efficient, but you're largely irrelevant. 2, we're doing a bunch of experiments. These people are doing it. This department is doing it. This department is doing it. This department is doing it. But to be honest with you, it's not really moving the needle because it's not all joined up together. And 3rd is we read Clay Christensen's book, Innovator's Dilemma. So we've hired these young people and we put them in a room and given them some money and they're going to do magic because they all wear skinny jeans. They're all on Instagram all the time. They're all over this Facebook thing and they're going to make a bunch of money. But we've no idea whether it's going to make any difference or not. So, audit. Know where you stand today. Simple checklist to build up a picture. You can do that today. And it's relevant to SMEs, as small changes and fixes can have a big impact. It's all about, these minor, changes. So, this is my simple one. So, accounting services search for in Dublin on Google. Google has 98.5% of the market share in Ireland. Accounting services, 1, 2, 3, 4. Anybody from any of these 4 companies? Rothwell McHugh, DCK Accountants, Integra Outsourcing, and Smart PA. So they're getting business today. Those little ad things, that means that they're getting business today. They don't have to talk to anybody, they don't have to go anywhere. But if that's your market in Dublin for accounting services, these are the people you're competing with. And they're not in this room, so you can't go and ask them. So a simple understanding of the keywords that you're pitching for. What are you trying to do? What are the services you're offering? Where are you offering them? Just even those simple little things. And knowing that is critical to your checklist. Okay. Your website. We have website usability heuristics. We're trying to add a little bit of technical jargon here. We had depreciation schedules and PO approval processes. I put in heuristics as my own personal one. But the words, look at the words that you should be thinking about when you look at your website. Trust and credibility. So you as the individual, trust and credible. Does your website say trust and credible when you look at it? Is it easy to navigate? Search usability. Can people find things when they come to your website? So just these simple things. All you got to do is score yourself 1 to 10 and know what you can improve on. very simple checklist for you to be able to improve the digital presence that you have on your website. 2, fix your call to action. And this is somewhat of an Irish thing, is we're terrible about asking, terrible about being direct, and a lot of Irish websites are terrible. But consumers expect high standards. I call it the Instagram effect. You as an individual, because you consume so much media, you will make a decision about the trustworthiness of a site in less than 500 milliseconds. Slightly longer than it takes you to blink. So subliminally, you are making decisions, and people are making decisions about your digital presence in that period of time. Blame Instagram. People taking pictures of their perfect food. Help the prospective customer with wayfinding. How do you want them to contact you? The office phone, people don't really answer it. Sometimes it rings out, but I prefer people to call me on my mobile phone. Does your website say that? If you're in a business and your primary business is attracting new customers, does it actually say how customers should contact you? Clear, unambiguous, and above the fold. This is a terrible example, and I hope nobody is here from... Anybody here from Sportworks before I make fun of their website? No. Great. Can anybody tell me what a customer is supposed to do when they come to that website? Buy tickets to the next international? Buy a pint of Guinness? The Sportworks, the complete works. Not immediately obvious. Do I make a payment? Oh, maybe I owe you money. Follow us on Facebook. Well, for a prospective customer, what they actually want you to do is send them an inquiry email, and they will give you a consultation call back. It's the smallest thing. See that little tiny thing in the top right-hand corner? That's what that company wants you to click on when you come to their website. Clear, unambiguous, and above the fold. Much better one. Contact us in green. The top right-hand side, we are likely to be drawn, and they've had this nice effect where the little accent stripe and the contact us button are the same color. So if you draw the little line up and up to the right, it follows the line up to the contact us button. It's the same color. That website costs no less than this website. This website converts much better, clear, unambiguous, and above the fold. So what I want you to do when you leave here today is go to your own website, either for the company you work for or your own practice, and ask yourself the question, what is it that I want people to do when they come to this site? And have I explicitly asked them to do that? Because if you haven't, you're essentially giving the customer a job. I want you to come to my website and figure out for yourself. So, simple thing. Go to your website, ask yourself, is it clear? And have you asked them? Clear, unambiguous, and above the fold. Free and easy. Free and easy. And I know, sorry, the vendors, most of them are gone at this point, so okay. Free and easy, at least in the digital market world, is now on the rise. It's incredibly crowded out there. So there's a lot of really good products that require very limited investment on your behalf. And being a financial community, I'm sure you love that particular aspect of the products. Gone are the days where you have to invest substantial amounts of capital up front in either hardware or in software or in training in terms of onboarding. There is little or no cost to getting started. Google My Business. You know, it's a free and easy way to get found on Google. One of Eamon's favorite products, recommends it all the time. Completely free. Google wants your business to be found on everywhere that they present your search terms, on maps, on the search index as well. Completely free. Zero investment on your behalf. HubSpot is another great product. Drives inbound sales. This is the primary means by which the University of Limerick drive inbound registrations to their postgraduate programs. Starting price for their introductory product is free. 0 cost. Permanent trial, 5 users. Now, once you get into the higher end stuff, it is expensive. But the first order, all of the swathe of these products at least have an entry level point which is free or very low cost for you to be experiment and trial and goes with it. Video. You look and sound better on camera than you think. I know that's hard for us all to take as Irish people. You're on camera today, so we're on Facebook today. You'll be extraordinarily surprised how personable, how effective, how communicative you are on video. Most people are horrified by this. Like, no. Getting on video is a really, really powerful way and an expected way for you to build trust with your existing customers and your new customers. I know I didn't ask them how much this was costing, but it's a relatively straightforward, process to get online. It's accessible. This is a tool that makes whiteboard videos. You can upload your content and we'll create the nice little whiteboard. I don't know if you've ever seen these on YouTube, little whiteboard videos. Lots of services that will do this remotely for you with a good high quality camera and some good audio content to do all the editing for you remotely. So it's easy, it's accessible, a 30 to 90 second clip, massively more impactful than you spending a morning writing up a paper on the latest revenue guidance note on whatever, which is probably what your marketing team would ask you to do a lot of. I want you to write me a big long paper on something. You look a lot better on camera than you think. And last, this was a kind of a recurring theme through pretty much all of the presentations. I know Karen spent a lot of time talking about it as well, which is, and I was looking for the word is, Brendan was talking about it earlier. It was remaining relevant, sorry, that was the expression. And I know Karen had a really good, in a way, and a thoughtful ask for you to think about how you develop those skills. Said, it's critical. If you can learn how to use WhatsApp, I'm pretty sure you can learn how to use these other tools. It's accessible, and a lot of small businesses now, as I said, and this is Eamon's mantra is, if you can't afford an agency, then you can make yourself an agency. The skill sets are readily available. There's a lot of good online material. It's not a significant time investment. As a cohort, you're very used to the CPD environment and requiring that. And part of what we've been pushing here is that e-learning needs to be an integral part of your CPD for your profession. You can do on-site components for up to half a day to get yourself started, but realistically, the majority of the material that you need, can be consumed on an e-learning basis. Very bite-sized components. It's just not a, hey, I'm going to spend a whole day. It's a 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. Coursera, over an extended period of time, can be multi-hour if you want it, but there are a lot of good platforms out there available, providing really good bite-sized chunks to allow you to kind of gradually ease your way into it as well. What am I doing for time, Michael? Are we over? Okay. All right, so those are our kind of key tips. Things you can do today and tomorrow. Not a long distance future. All of these geared towards adding value to your business and taking advantage of the digital opportunities, hopefully without you thinking that robots are coming to take your job. So next bit again is a little bit more forward-looking. We're not kind of in the Bitcoin and robotics realm. Voice search. Kids love this. They absolutely love this. And this is now, if you've noticed, earlier, the younger generations, their primary engagement is less typing and more voice search engagement. Problem for a lot of us in the commercial world is we've grown up with a world in which the results that are being presented back to us were in written format, and we could stick ads into it for accounting services. In a voice search, when I search for accounting services, it's typically only one or two. You're not really going to get much of an answer. So a lot of the trend, at least for the next 12 months and 18 months, is how to try and find a way to insert you as the company and your service into this particular function. It's also starting to come up a little bit in the commercial world internally, but the example of kind of calling the accountant, when we had a query about the purpose, some of that is starting to get there, but it's very company specific. So it's primarily on the new business generation and voice search optimization. Single view of the user. Again, this is primarily for you as a practice manager, not just to understand, okay, John is doing their year-end accounts, but how long have they been with you? What other things are going on in their life? How is their personal, returns doing in terms of their business? How's the overall business doing? How's their business doing in comparison to other businesses? So creating a single view of the customer is a really, really big trend, at least in the digital marketing world. So understanding their prior behaviors, looking at their credit history, looking at their purchase tracking record, putting together, as I said, a single customer view, and binding all of those pieces of data together. So when you look at a customer, you're not just looking at the marketing, looking at what they've bought, or the finance team of how quickly that they pay, or in the shipment department how many products that they return. So building that combined picture together. And a lot of the new software that's coming out, and a lot of the new drives have really been about kind of binding those different components together as well. Social TV, again, an unusual concept, but this is programming exclusively for social. So you'll see this a little bit if you go to, what's the YouTube Originals? YouTube Originals. A lot of TV programming exclusively made for Facebook and for social media channels internationally. TV, by the way, I will never see because it's largely not targeted for me at the moment, but for a lot of the cohorts of populations that you are interested in, your customers are interested in, it's exclusively for them. It's cheap, it's easy to get online, and it's very good distribution as well. So you don't have to go and kind of negotiate distribution deals. So a very powerful tool to scale up and grow from a customer perspective. Chatbots and AI. I knew you'd get AI somewhere in here. Chatbots, in terms of repetitious customer queries, you've seen Intercom down the road, or one of Aaron's kind of star stories from a technology perspective. It's difficult for us, at least for my generation. I've grown up actually interacting with a human on the phone. That sentiment has largely changed. So most of the population, probably between 30 and 35, their primary engagement actually is on instant message, and most of that is actually being replaced with an automated process. So whatever our own personal desires and want to speak to actually somebody on the telephone, the population are actually voting with their feet in this particular case, and that people are actually asking for chatbots and for automated responses to simple repetitious queries. And it's becoming quite accessible. There's a lot of good products depending on your CRM platform. They'll integrate with almost anything, whether you're Salesforce or Zoho or Oracle or whatever your kind of CRM of choice. Most of the platforms are now fairly agnostic and will tap directly in. Content and ad personalization. It's good at the moment in the UK and Germany and in North America. It's not great in Ireland because the data structures are not great. But personalization and the content is going to continue to be much more improved, even at a simplistic level of gender and age and previous purchase patterns. And you'll have seen this yourself just by simply looking at the results that you get, on Google and Google search as well. So, hopefully we ended on a positive note. So we wanted to say that it's not all bad, and that the majority of what we want you to take away is that there is positive advantage and massive opportunity for you as a business and for you as commercial individuals, and take that away. So, thank you. Sorry, we didn't do it. Over to you, Michael.
Do we have any questions? Any questions for hands up? No? Are we handing over to another speaker now for a moment, or we're done? We're done. Great.
Yeah.
By all means.
So you're saying that content and app personalization is what we want for 2019. But are you noticing any pushback from people saying, "Oh, I don't want this," and then saying, "Well, that product or brand, I'm going to avoid them now."
Yeah. So I think one of the other, the bit we didn't talk about is ad blockers. So, show of hands, who has an ad blocker on their browser? Yeah, that's probably about right. So about 20 to 23, depending on the age and demographic, are explicitly kind of, again, voting for their feet, with their feet in terms of adding ad blocking. This is the response, is better personalization. So reducing the amount of time that you would see and repeating a remarketing ad, because that's a really irritating thing and companies were abusing it. The theory being that the more personalized the ad is, more specific to you, and the offer is specific to you, you'd be less inclined to use an ad blocker. So again, a little bit less of a spray and pray. Let's send it out to everybody and hope we get a 1% click-through rate. Is trying to drive more quality in the conversion rates and the personalization. You're really only going to get to maybe 2 or 3%. So that's the theory, is explicitly to target that phenomenon. I've got an ad blocker on because I want to see the ads. So the people who are staying expect a higher level of personalization and engagement.
Any other questions?